Suneeta Rao and welcome to 100 Hours, 100 Stars. मैं हूँ आपकी रेडियो की हीरोइनी रोहिणी 91.9 FM रेडियो नशा से and of course Suneeta Rao needs no introduction at all. बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया मेरा ये invite जो है accept करने के लिए. Welcome to 100 Hours, 100 Stars. How are you doing?
बहुत अच्छा लगा यहाँ आना, बड़ी खुशी हुई. It's very, very lonely, as you know, over here. Although I'm very, very grateful that my husband and my daughter are with me. कहीं भी हो सकते थे. You know, my husband is a cinematographer. He could have been anywhere in any corner of the world. तो वे हमारे साथ हैं और हम लोग सब साथ में रह रहे हैं. तो इसके लिए I'm really, really grateful, and I'm so happy to be here with you.
Thank you, Suneeta. I want to check with you for the benefit of our viewers. आप इस वक्त मुंबई में हैं and you've been locked down with the family. How has the lockdown been for you? What's your routine like? Let's start with that.
Okay, actually, you know, हम artist की जिंदगी में इतनी routine नहीं होती है वैसे, लेकिन I'm a victim of routine and I thrive on routine. तो मैं routine बना लेती हूँ कैसे भी. Okay, तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है अब सुबह को उठ के मैं सबसे पहले, of course, after the coffee and everything, I think about what I'm going to do for dinner. So like the last thing of the day is dinner, and you know, दिन के अंत में तो my energy levels go down at the end of the day. So the morning is when I want to finish off with the cooking aspect. तो सबसे पहले मैं dinner के लिए preparation कर लेती हूँ और lunch हम थोड़ी बहुत I have touch wood, I have my girl living with me, my help. So normally she's got nanny duties, but since there's no school and no classes, she doesn't have to drop my daughter all over the place, so she's doing housekeeping and cooking with me.
Yeah.
हम लोग, you know, we just take care of the food aspect. First things first. Yeah. Then what I do is my daughter is doing homeschooling. तो उसके पास मैं रहती हूँ, अभी उसके इर्द-गिर्द रहती हूँ मैं, and I'm either reading a book or I'm rearranging or I'm doing some cleaning or I'm spring cleaning or doing a little bit of warming up of my voice and, you know, just either. If I have the energy, I'll do my workout in the morning. If it's one of those days when I'm just feeling like just doing the yoga, I will do the yoga. So something or the other I will do. And then it becomes lunchtime. And see if my daughter needs any help. Otherwise, I retire with a book or some kind of writing. And then the evening like slot between 5 o'clock and 6:30 is for singing. We do any kind of singing. Riyaz ho ya karaoke ho ya beti ke saath kuch bhi, you know, whatever. Just anything just to make us happy and just to sing and be in touch with the music.
When you say we, it's you and your daughter?
My daughter and me also on my own if I have to. And if hubby's in a good mood, he joins.
Lovely.
And then in the evening, if I haven't done the workout in the morning, then I do it in the evening. And if it is a day when I have to step out for groceries, then of course there's an adjustment in this routine. And that's actually वो मेरे लिए बहुत stressful होता है. Because, you know, you have to take every precaution. You know, I have, you know, the whole thing, I make sure that I don't make a single mistake. Because not only do I want to, you know, be careful and protect the people in my own home, but I want everybody else to be protected also. And I also want to set an example. So whether it's wearing the mask or using a toothpick to press the lift button or, you know, sanitizing at every step of the way, making sure I'm really, really social distancing. And, you know, I just, you know, and then by the time I come back, it's, you know, that's the only time I kind of get exposed to what's going on outside. I see other people struggling. लोगों को कितनी तकलीफ होती है, क्यों में खड़ा रह के, वो भी पसीना पसीना हो रहा है सब लोग. And then there's so many other people who are standing around, you know, wondering, you know, what's going to happen next. And, you know, people are looking at each other over their masks. And even if you recognize somebody, people are not even feeling like saying hello sometimes. You know, and I try and smile with my eyes. You know, I'm like, okay, everything's going to be all right. Let's just, you know, do what we have to do and move on. And yeah, so that's when, so all of this kind of plays on my mind. So when I come back, I'm really, really exhausted from that. And then I treat myself maybe to one of these million links which are given to us where, you know, I can maybe watch a little bit of a concert of a fellow artist or an international artist, or I can see a musical, or I can read something beautifully written by somebody. You know, then I give myself that treat, you know, when I've stepped out.
That's wonderful.
So, and morning to evening, it just goes in one shot, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's crazy how our days are kind of running into each other because honestly ऐसे लग नहीं रहा है कि एक दिन दूसरे दिन से अलग है. यहाँ पर महीने बदल चुके हैं and that feeling of sameness is kind of crazy. But at the same time, I still think that this is perhaps a time to pause and reflect. And that pausing and reflection, has done a lot of people a lot of good. I've been speaking to a lot of celebrities about this. और वो मुझसे कह रहे हैं कि यार actually हमें रोजमर्रे की जिंदगी में टाइम ही नहीं मिलता था. अब टाइम ही टाइम है तो अच्छा लग रहा है.
अभी अभी मुझे एक बहुत अच्छी नज्म मिली है जो नज्म एक क्वारंटीन, पता नहीं आपने देखा है, आप पढ़ा है नहीं, लेकिन इसमें बहुत बहुत अच्छी तरीके से लिखा है. Can I just show you a little bit of it?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. गुजर जाएगा दौरे तन्हाई, फिर इसी तन्हाई को तरस जाओगे. I mean, and that's just the beginning. There are some beautiful things written in it, and हम actually अक्सर ये thoughts सोचते रहते हैं. यहाँ पे तन्हाई में बैठे हुए, we think about these things, that when do I give myself an opportunity to really introspect, and actually to listen and look at what everybody else is doing, but not thinking that, oh, they are doing this, I also want to do this. No, people are actually paying attention and actually listening and actually breathing, and I don't know if you watched my online gig. I did like a half-an-hour gig online, and मेरा एक गाना था जो मेरी पहले एल्बम में रिलीज हुई थी. ओके, नाम है कौन जाने. तो इसमें वो सेन्योरिटा एल्बम की थी, और श्याम अनुरागी, द लेट श्याम अनुरागी, ही इज द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल लिरिक्स. मैं जो भी कहना चाहती थी, I was like 21, 22 years old, and I was with Bombay International School with my broken Hindi, but I had all these powerful thoughts in my head, which I wanted to convey, and I had no way. I was useless. I couldn't write in Hindi. So fortunately, I had my lovely lyricist with me, and I would sit with him, and I would tell him, "Ye kehna hai, mujhe wo kehna hai," and I want to literally make people hear the sounds of birds when they are listening to the words, that kind of thing. And he wrote this tune. और इसमें हमने कहा कि रास्ते हैं यहाँ कहीं अनजाने, कितने मोड़ सुहाने, कौन कहाँ मिल जाए कौन जाने, है जहाँ में कितने वीराने, कितने गुलशन सूने, कब बहार आ जाए कौन जाने.
क्या बात.
अपने हैं यहाँ कई बेगाने, है कई नीत पुराने, कौन किसे अपनाए कौन जाने. It's so beautifully written, and it's got this very like fever type of rhythm and very don't worry be happy type of melody. It's really lovely. So I did that on the concert, and I'm hoping that that it reached as many people as possible. Not as many people as Rohini reaches with her. He reaches in her radio Nasha, but hopefully.
Suneeta,
maybe you can play it. Yeah.
No, I must say this to you that आज हम एक बहुत ही खास वजह से वीडियो पर इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं because this is 100 hours 100 stars, and जब लोग ये वीडियो देख रहे होंगे, of course they will see a QR code on the screen which will take them directly to the donation link towards the PM Cares Fund. So anything that you're saying right now, okay, anything that you can give us right now is going to inspire people, because I really believe that इससे बेहतर तरीका नहीं हो सकता था. एक तो हमारी बातों से लोग एंगेज हो रहे हैं, नंबर 1, और दूसरी बात ये कि I really miss going to a concert right now. I really miss going to see my favorite artists right now. And इसके जरिए of course लोगों को जो whatever it is, like 200 rupees, 300 rupees, whatever we could afford from our end, अगर आप लोग ये chat देख रहे हैं तो please donate generously, and it goes, this QR code will take you directly to the link there. You can make the donation, and I think there couldn't have been a better use of technology, honestly. But going back to, of course, you, I got very excited जब हमने I think एक साल पहले connect किया था, and हमने रेडियो नशा पर हीरोइनी awards किए थे, and of course you are and will always be our heroine. And उस वक्त पर मुझे याद है I spoke to you about being comfortable with different social mediums. So सबसे पहले I remember, let me take off this conversation from there. Have you made an Instagram account or no? Very bad, very bad. मैं कह रही हूँ ये लॉकडाउन का टाइम है.
पता है. Suno, but one thing, okay, you have to agree कि I have been able to do an online concert. I have been able to set up my microphone and my amplifier, and I was able to do a 30-minute gig in front of the online audience. And for that, I should get an applause right away from you.
I already gave it to you. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. No, because it's important. I'll tell you, it's important because मैं जानती हूँ कि आपके इतने fans हैं, and I remember when I played that interview of you on the show, the people were so excited to listen to you. Cheers, to have you on the show and just listen to your thoughts. And I remember you sharing some really priceless stories of making kesaria and making pari, and I was like, oh my God, if we can do that. More and more fans will of course be able to reach you. So अभी Instagram account इस lockdown से पहले आपका बन जाना चाहिए. I want you to do it for us.
Okay. वो कोशिश जारी रहेगी. I promise you, the कोशिश will happen.
Yeah. That is fantastic. All right, what's always fun is to talk to you about things that the audience may not know about. Like, I mean, this is quite a much known fact. It's a much known fact. But one of my favorite pieces of trivia about Suneeta Rao is the fact that there is a song, and there is a lot of songs that there's a voice, and it's Suneeta, and it may not have been your own song in terms of like your own indie pop numbers, but for example, the soundtrack of Hooked. We cannot not talk about Go. Oh my God.
Literally one little ad-lib I did right at the back, and not even the main song, yeah. I remember. I mean, that's something I just do, just like that.
Only you do that just like that, because if you ask me to do this, मुझसे तो नहीं होगा. कुछ लोग होते हैं, हम दोनों आवाज के बाशिंदे हैं, लेकिन मैं बात करती हूँ और आप गाती है. You can also talk, okay? That's the difference. I can't also sing.
Thank you, sweetheart. I'll never forget that recording experience. Those were like the beginnings, when I was still knocking on the doors of playback singing, and I wasn't yet, so convinced that I could have my own original music and my own career. Everybody wants to start out as playback because people in this country are made to believe that that's the only way. It's definitely improving today. But in those days, that was like, if you don't do playback, then you can't do anything, So really? I was knocking on doors, and when I got this opportunity to go and work with Viju Shah, he was here. Music, yeah. So Viju was lovely, very lovely personality. He was so kind, and I was so happy, and I thought I was going to be getting this great, big, huge sound to sing, and then over there, I'm sitting in the recording studio, and Udit Narayan is over there with his big, beautiful smile. And,
classic smiles, yeah.
He's dubbing, and I'm sitting over there reading my book. I used to always take a book to the recording studio. Okay, even when I was like working with Vanraj Bhatia, the advertising jingles of the entire Bombay Dyeing campaign I did with him, So that true love is Vivaldi, that's also me. So, Bombay Dyeing, dream lover, Bombay Dyeing, dream lover. So that was also me. So I'm really sidetracking. So I used to take a book with me, and I was reading this book, and Uditji was going on and on and on. And you know how it is, there are like 20, 23 people sitting in that recording studio, each one saying, wah, 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 kya baat hai.
Uditji, kya baat hai?
And Suneeta ji, please, aap better. That's the first 10 minutes lagenge or 5 minutes lagenge, and I'm still not sure what it is that they want me to sing. Yeah. Then they gave me this little line, and I went and did it to the best of my ability, and I just gave it everything I had. Then I must have come home and cried, because I was like, mujhe gaana hi nahi mila, bas yahi mila. And that's why it's so touching. In fact, when you first mentioned it to me in the radio interview, we had done an interview, when you had asked me, I think on my birthday or something, you asked me, and I was just so touched. I said, at the time, I didn't think I was doing anything. I thought I was let down. And today you remember it, and you're commenting on my singing. So this is a lesson for anybody out there who's entering this industry. Once all of this is behind us and you're going back out there into the world, just remember, it doesn't matter even if you're doing 5 seconds of work, even if you're doing just a 2-minute appearance or a 2-minute recording, you give it everything you have in that one moment first, and then you let it go.
Wow, that is so beautifully said. And एक बहुत ही खास, I think a little bit of time and perhaps being in a situation like we are right now, really today we're in a very humbling space. Hum sab, it doesn't matter jitne successful ho, jitne how much money we have. None of that matters. What matters is that we're all in this together, and I think that एक humility जो है वो सिर्फ आज ही नहीं, even when I spoke to you about this that time, ये एक this lens of seeing something and saying, you know what, I can't believe that people notice that, recognize that. और आज भी that song which is दुनिया हसीनों का मेला, अगर आप लोग millennials हमें देख रहे हैं और सोच रहे हैं कि ये कौन सा गाना है, तो मैं बता दूं, it's from the soundtrack of the 90s thriller Gupt, जहाँ पर Kajol is the killer and I've killed the film for all the 90s.
Okay, so you know any of the other things that I actually did full playback singing for? Do you know all the songs I've done? I mean,
of course. Come on,
you know.
Today we're going to talk about this because you know what? I've always wanted to do this chat with Suneeta Rao. And mauka bhi hai, dastoor bhi hai. But I just want to complete this Gupt wali baat कि Gupt जो है, गुप्त की सबसे बड़ी गुप्त चीज शायद ये थी कि ये आवाज सुनीता राव की थी और अब ये गुप्त नहीं रही है. So thank you for telling us that. All right, more और गुप्त चीजें.
Okay, so okay, which do you know that I have definitely sung? Which do you know for sure in playback? I'm going to catch you because I don't think you know a single one.
I actually don't, because मुझे ये वाला याद है और मैं बहुत excited हो गई थी and I said, oh my God, I know this about Suneeta Rao.
You don't know that I've done at least 5, if not 6 hit tunes with Anu Malik.
अरे क्या बात है, अनु मलिक.
उसमें एक भांगड़ा भी थी. From a movie called Shastra.
Look at Ram Shastra. I know Ram Shastra. Oh my God. Manisha Koirala की फिल्म थी.
Chak 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 chaklange. Chaklange. Tu सीधे दिल दे दे, तू सीधे सीधे दिल दे दे, नहीं ते. Chak 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 chaklange. चकियां तेनू चकलांगे.
Oh my God, blast from the past. Memories, Anu Malik के साथ काम करने का. Come on, everybody I know has an Anu Malik story.
What about this one? My adorable darling. I think you every night, every morning. तेरे बिन मैं नहीं जी सकती हूँ. Oh my darling, you are my Prince Charming. That's also me. I think it was from a
मैं खिलाड़ी तू अनाड़ी.
So you know it then.
Of course.
So you don't. ये एक और गुप्त है चीज जो ये मैंने गाया. Then what about the other one? In the night, no control. क्या करूं? कुछ तो बोल. उड़ दे. It was actually quite a nice melody, huh? It was quite. Sing the rest. You know it?
I can't sing, but I'll just tell you the song, which is Tod Dehi.
Ye badam, take my love, take my soul in the night. No control. And it was Rekha and Akshay Kumar mud wrestling.
Oh my God! And it's from I think that was सबसे बड़ा खिलाड़ी. ये देखो मेरी 90s की knowledge इतनी अच्छी है. And I remember all these songs. But you know, I know for a fact that this was a phase where the songs that most of the songs that you named were these sort of sensuous या थोड़े से हटके वाले गाने, which required a little bit of Western sort of treatment. And it was pretty strange. You know, it was pretty strange because you have shown the world your sort of prowess, you know, when it comes to singing a total like desi kesariya. Okay, लेकिन फिर भी लोग, I think indie pop artists के साथ ये होता था कि you guys were just cooler than the rest. Is that correct?
No, in the film industry, the music basically is extremely suited to a particular type of singing. Yeah. And if you were anything even remotely different from it, then you were given the cabaret tunes or the
Western, yeah.
Western type tunes, you know what I mean? But the thing is, you know, I had full humility because I'm my mother's daughter, and my mother is she's contemporary with Lata ji and Asha ji, and they were all like of another level only, and I knew, and I was learning from them. So I knew, and I was going to Bombay International School, and I had my nose up in the air, and I was doing Grease, and the musicals, Vita Grease, they're playing our songs. So I had no illusions about the fact that I definitely had a Western lilt to what I was doing. And whatever Indian classical or folk that I was doing, the folk came much later. Whatever Indian classical I was doing was basically to support my singing.
Yeah,
absolutely. I thought that I was going to do something which was completely classical or extremely filmy until later when I had gotten used to singing, Hindi, and I had released like 3-4 albums in Hindi. Then I had like a good lot of 15 years of Hindi singing behind me, and then I was able to compose and write in Hindi eventually for what. So it takes time. I mean, you can't. And I'm also a dancer. So I spent a lot of my time learning, after Bharatanatyam, of course, then there was jazz, ballet, and there was flamenco and salsa and everything. So therefore, I was exposed even to the whole Spanish world and Spanish music and African music. So, I couldn't possibly think that I was going to just sit over there and do a Hindustani classical concert or go and sing a, little classical number. It's clear. I knew my limitations, and that's another lesson number 3 for today. You definitely strive to do your best, and you keep learning, but you must know your limitations, and then you can actually really, really carve out a niche for yourself with those limitations.
Absolutely.
No.
I because you said Anu Malik, and I think that har kisi ka Anu Malik ke saath, there is nobody who's met Anu Malik and doesn't have a fun story. Please give us a fun story Anu Malik ke saath, because aise kaise ho sakta hai that you don't have one.
No. Funniest thing is he's the only human being in the whole world who called me Suns.
Suns, love it.
Come on, Suns, come on, let's take it out. Let's do a take, Suns, come on. You know what I mean? and he also used to say that a lot. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? My God. But I think that आज मैंने कहा कि आज लोग probably a chat को देखते हुए they're going back to these songs, and I think it's a walk down memory lane because My Adorable Darling has an adorable place in my heart, at least. Such a fun film, Main Khiladi Tu Anari, Raveena Tandon on the screen, a very, very goofy Saif Ali Khan, because that film was really fun, which is Main Khiladi Tu Anari. Similarly, Jim.
Yeah, sorry, you're missing something?
No, go ahead. I'm
speaking of Raveena, I did something where I did playback for her, which was, of course, there was one duet with where Salman Khan was in it. I think. Then, कोई मुझसे कम भी मिलेगा नहीं, la 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 la, मेरी life बना दे, मेरी life बना दे. That was one. But I was thinking of what is that movie? Ghulam-e-Mustafa.
Yeah.
So I met the incredible Nana Patekar, and it was quite going to the sets and being part of a main tune. The whole number was on Raveena. So it was quite an experience for me actually watching my song being played and somebody doing this item number to it, okay? Yeah. And that was सारा शहर आज जागेगा, मैं सबकी नींदें उड़ा लूंगी, सारा शहर आज जागेगा, मैं सबकी नींदें उड़ा लूंगी, सब देखते रह जाएंगे, मैं सबके दिल को चुरा लूंगी. That was Rajesh Roshan.
Rajesh Roshan. It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't know. I mean, if you did not want to do more of Bollywood, because I think that what you had the opportunity was so much greater. Because I think as a creator, आज YouTube वगैरह की वजह से लोग millennials को creators बुलाते हैं. Oh, you're a content creator. But मेरे हिसाब से the content creators are my indie pop icons from the 90s. Because मुझे वो सारी कहानियाँ अब तक इतनी अच्छी तरह से याद है जब आपने बताया था कि कैसे वीडियो शूट हुए थे, उसकी स्टाइलिंग कैसे हुई थी, अपने जीन्स पहने थे, गंजी डाली थी, and that dupatta just around you, and because you said this is who I am and I want to be this sort of melange between Indian यानी कि desi and this Western, and I think the audience would really love to go back to that. Let's talk about Suneeta Rao, the fashion icon. Let's talk about how ये एक बहुत ही important part था of being, this indie pop star. It was not just about the music. You guys also look good. You style differently. You guys, look at that bindi, man. Look at that bindi even right now, right? Tell me
One
about
doesn't even
that.
think about it. You take it and you put it. Look, the thing is, I've said this repeatedly. Oh, I have to stop you for a second. There is this most beautiful little bird outside my window right now. I'm telling you, it's not more than 2 inches big. Okay,
Oh,
it's
my
2 inches, and the tail is 1.5 centimeters, and the beak is half a centimeter, little pointed beak. And he or she has just been sitting over there watching my interview this whole time. There is,
क्या
a,
बात है.
there is a tree, and I can hear the birds chirping. This is what I'm saying. And there is less dust in my house. I have to say, this is how it is at the moment, There's less dirt, there's less pollution, there's less noise. And I said this in that concert, and I'm saying it again. I just want everyone to take this piece, take it with them for the rest of their lives, and to take it into the outside world and go in peace, go in quiet amidst the noise and haste. Breathe and appreciate what's beautiful. Stop and smell the flowers, for God's sake.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, in fact, that may have something to do with the answer also to your question about why is it that I have, why is it that when I was just being myself, why is it that I ended up being, according to you, a fashion icon? I think that's putting it a bit, that's like exaggerating it a bit. I think maybe I did set some trends, let's put it that way, okay? So, like I said to you, it's a lot to do with the feeling of being happy with who you are, that inner peace and that cushion that you get from basically having a family that loves you and supports you and encourages you, which is something that I'm grateful for it every single day of my life. And I know that's not something that everybody grows up with. I mean, I'm not saying that there was no difficulty. And, of course, I was the youngest of 3 siblings. I had, my own share of feeling left out. I had my own inferiority complexes and everything. But at the end of the day, I know in the middle of all of that, my sisters and my brother would leave everything and come to me if I needed anything, And my parents just let me just indulge myself when it came to the acting, the singing, the dancing. They said, do anything you want, but do it well. They just said, do whatever makes you happy, but do it well. Do it, but do it well. And then, but it wasn't, but their love was unconditional. Even if I failed miserably and I didn't do something, or I didn't get into a particular playback situation or whatever, my mother never turned around and said, you're a failure because you have not sung enough playback. Never. Even though she came from the playback industry. She was like, you have your own individuality, then you go out there and you do it. And as far as the clothes and the image and all is concerned, I'm so strongly Indian in my heart and in a lot of my ideologies in many ways. But because of my exposure to Billy Joel and Hollywood and living in Bandra and, going to Bombay International School and St. Xavier's, I am a true mix. And I felt it just came naturally to me to portray that mix in my music, in the way I was dressing. And I have to say the Bindi influence is largely my sister, Aarti Rao Shetty, who happens to be the one who made my videos. She made, with her husband Sunil Shetty, they made Dehka Dehka, they made Kesariya, they made Choti Choti Baatein, and they have been running an establishment in Bangalore, which is a beautiful music club called B-Flat, where for 10.5 years, which has encouraged musicians from all over the world to play.
Yes. It's an institution.
That institution now, it remains an institution in everybody's heart and mind because the place has shut down for the most terrible reasons, but this is not the time to get into that. But what I'm saying is, she was the one who used to wear these beautiful bindis, and so I kind of was almost aping her in that.
Sure.
But then I had incredible makeup men like Mickey Contractor who did my makeup. Can you imagine? I had Mickey from Paris, and he did this freaky bindi for me for the Dhua album cover. And I absolutely.
Can I please pause you here, because I think I still have, maybe not in this house, but in my mom's house, the album, the cassette of Dhua, and which mere paas abhi bhi hai, because it was so dear to us. It was so dear to us. And also, let's not, I mean, is waqt jo log chat par hain. Arey, you have it with you? Aha! This is why I love video interviews, because you never know what you can find. It's a treasure. परी हूँ मैं, you know, जितने सारे body image issues होती हैं लड़कियों को, I think today that song needs to be just listened to on headphones to remind yourself that, oh my God, I am whole and I am beautiful. और ये किसी और की validation की ज़रूरत नहीं है मुझे, because that song did that for my generation, you know, कि नाना मुझे छूना ना दूर ही रहना परी हूँ मैं. And it's also very very powerful because ये एक female voice थी, and I think that ये बहुत ही important है, because let me just, you know, offer a little bit of perspective. हिंदी फिल्म के गाने जो थे, they were always written by lyricists, okay, who were making these songs from the male point of view. तो अगर औरतों की बातें होती थी, it was a point of view of veneration कि चंदन सा बदन चंचल चितवन, और उसमें एक बहुत ही कमाल की एक बात होती है. There's a beauty to that as well. But when परी हूँ मैं broke, I think it was the voice. भले ही आपके शब्द नहीं होंगे या लिरिक्स आपके नहीं होंगे, but ये voice आपकी थी. And to me that was the start of a very important thing happening for us, which is the voice of Indian women. Okay, and ये मेरे लिए बहुत अच्छा था, because I was like, wow man, I can actually hear these things, because I would love to say them to myself. And we were very young and so impressionable, and I think that's why I keep going back to you, and I, you know, bother you for interviews, because that's the impact that this song had on an entire generation of women. And I do hope that, you know, people who continue to listen to this song, any cover, any version, doesn't matter, will go back to the spirit of the song, because ये इस गाने की spirit है, which is love yourself and also treat yourself right. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, treat yourself right. There is no question about it. You've said it all, darling.
Which brings me to, of course, the last part of our segment, which is, you know, I can't help but notice that, you know, some women just look better and better, and you're just one of those some women. Okay, even today, lockdown में मैं तो खास करके मेकअप लगा के तैयार हुई, because मैंने कहा, oh my God, संजय राव से बात करना है, she looks too good यार. But tell me something. हाँ लिपस्टिक हमें करना ही पड़ता है ना, because if I had to interview you in pajamas, it wouldn't be any fun. So can you share, and this is just for the girls or even the men who are listening, because hey, lockdown mein everybody has time to do a little bit of something, any sort of health tips that you personally believe in, something for your beautiful hair, something for your beautiful skin, something for your really really taut arms. Please हमें बताइए क्या करना चाहिए हम. Yeah, look at those arms, man.
You can also do the Garudasana.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not going to spout the whole thing of the, oh, do your yoga and moisturize. It's important. It is important, definitely. Just you have to sleep well. You have to eat correctly, okay? You have to exercise. And you have to love something to death.
Beautiful.
And you have to live it. And just keep breathing, because you just never know what the tide is going to bring in. Okay? And, you know, when you're stressed, when you're getting older, the hair will fall, the skin will wrinkle. I mean, everything is going to eventually happen. But when you're born, you're given, touch wood, all going well, you're given the good, healthy skin, you're given the healthy hair. What you just need to do is keep it that way. You know, hydrate, exercise, like remove your makeup every time you go to bed. Don't go to sleep and say, सुबह को करेंगे, program के बाद. Do you know, no matter, even after I have performed like for 3.5 hours on stage, after traveling for 24 hours, whatever, I would go home and before, or to the hotel room, whichever the case may be. And one thing which was always in my kit was my makeup remover and makeup. Have to. And so have to remove, keep yourself clean. And even with hair, it's the same thing. If you wash your hair regularly, you know, keep it clean, and then just, you know, I don't know, I never really did anything in particular. I just did all these very basic things which Mama tells you to do. Do them all, and you'll you know. I'm one of those people who, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I may have a little bit of a unibrow or something like that. And I remember Kumari Walia, I'll never forget, for the Dheka Dheka shoot. For the Dheka Dheka shoot, he was like, darling, just let me clip just a minute. I said, you touch my face, I'll kill you. Because I never wanted to do anything artificial. I said, Jo diya gaya hai, wo diya gaya hai. You know, it's my face and just do your best in terms of lighting and camera angle. I'm not going to touch my face.
My God.
And I'm not the most perfect thing on earth, but you know, and I'm very difficult to photograph in many ways, even though I could end up looking great in a picture. It's difficult if it's a moving camera because it's not a perfect face. So, but then, you know, but it was all coming from inside. What you see on screen, it was coming from inside. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, before we go, I just want to remind everybody that Suneeta Rao is also Suneeta Rao because पिछले कुछ सालों में, and this is a cause that's been really dear to her heart, which is the planet and the environment. And I think that this is something that marks her, to be different from, people who had a song in their hearts and they sang it. Let's end this conversation with that because ये कितना अजीब है कि हम आज ऐसे एक मोड़ पे खड़े हैं जहाँ पर the earth is healing. The earth is healing and this has been a cause very dear to your heart, Suneeta. तो आप लोगों से इसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगी about the planet and the environment?
First of all, I want to thank every single person who has contributed to my climate change video, Vada Karo. I want to personally thank you. And I also want to apologize for the delay. There have been several outside as well as personal reasons for you not knowing what stage we are at right now. So I'm going to give you the current status. The song has been re-enhanced and recorded with the Dharavi Rocks children. I hope they are all safe and okay in this very, very difficult time. I'm also working closely with Acorn Foundation and they are doing incredible work to provide food. If you can, if any of you is interested in contributing to Dharavi, I can make sure that it goes in literally in packets, sealed packets of food. I'll make sure it goes directly to them. So you can definitely, Rohini, through you, if anybody is interested in Dharavi, they can, you can reach me. And so they have done some beautiful writing and added to the track. And we've done the production. Dhruv has completed the song. It's been produced and it's been mixed. The video has been held up for several reasons. The monsoon was delayed yesterday. Then there was a personal situation where we could not shoot. And now we're in lockdown. And I don't want to do a home video of it. I want to do something outside. And I'm definitely going to tie up the COVID situation because it's all connected. You know, everything that we have been doing, the fact that a virus can only really survive in a dirty environment. If everything was clean and well placed and recycled, and if the correct amount of money was spent on the right amount of things, if there was more equality in wealth and distribution of it, then there would not have been an opportunity for this virus to come out here and to cause such a devastation. And I mean, of course, everybody is, the kudos to the healthcare workers who are putting their lives at risk to look after everybody. But I think at this point, all I can say is when you have the opportunity to step out next, take a walk. First thing you do is walk. Don't get into your own private car. Walk. If you really want to get somewhere, get onto public transport. If you are using an air conditioner, remember to switch it off. If you are going from one room to the other, switch off the lights and fans. I mean, it's a simple, once again, do what Mama told you. It's so simple. Let's just do what we can as individuals, because then collectively, is dharti ki tabahi hone na do. Vada karo. That's all I can say. Watch out for it. It's going to be out.
I can't wait for this because ये वादा है सुनीता राव का हम सबसे, and इस गाने के through हम वादा करेंगे that we will take care of our planet. Thank you for inspiring us as teenagers, as women, and as human beings, Suneeta Rao. It's been a pleasure to connect with you, and I really feel like one of the luckiest girls who has this privilege to be able to chat with you whenever I can. Thank you so much.
Believe me, it's a privilege for me to be able to reach out to everybody through platforms like yours, because I'm not one of those who just posts, frequently on Facebook. I wait for opportunities like this where I know that it's going to be officially seen through the right channels and lots of people are going to hear it. So I hope that I've been able to at least touch you in some way, not just with my music, but even with my own presence, my humble presence. And I wish you luck. I wish you good health and peace of mind. Stay safe. Stay at home until you're told otherwise.
Thanks. Take care. Goodbye.
Welcome. Thank you so much for checking in. This is 94.3 Radio 1, Raja Kumari. I have to say, I've been your fan for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, ever since you hit Mumbai City. Thank you so much for connecting with us all the way from the US.
Thank you for having me. And also thank you for being a fan for so long. I mean, I know you've been supporting me from the beginning, so I appreciate it.
So this is it. You dropped your brand new sound, NRI, a couple of days ago.
Yes.
And we are absolutely loving it, completely vibing with it. I'm going to ask you to take me through that little conversation, so that, the actual behind the story stuff. But first, how's it for you at the moment in the US of A? And how's the whole COVID-19 situation there? What's going on with you and your life?
Wow. We are like, I think I stopped counting. I think we're getting into the 6th week of quarantine now in LA. And, the first couple of weeks were obviously very scary. We didn't know like what, the quarantine was going to be. I was scared for my friends in India. We were scared here. We thought it was going to be locked down. But, it's been okay. The first couple of weeks, my dad was still working in the hospital. So I think that was really scary for me. But now, he's 69. So he's essentially retired, thank God. So that was really stressful for me because I was like, Dad, you're exactly the kind of people that are not supposed to be outside right now. So since my dad's been home, I think everything's been a lot more calmer. And in the streets, like people are able to go for essentials. People are socially distanced. And, there's definitely a different vibe on the streets if you do go out. I've been out maybe 3 times total just for buying some groceries and getting flowers. Actually, I needed flowers. It was one trip, groceries and flowers. But yeah, it's been crazy, but I think people are mostly staying inside. There is like a little itching now in America to get out, and there's a lot of crazies, and I think some people are getting lax, but I really hope everyone sticks to it because I don't want us all have to do this again. I want the quarantine to end.
Come on, we all do. I mean, this is like, the uncertainty, the anxiety, all of it is just, the entire city, the entire country has been in a lockdown situation for 5 weeks now in India. So we are hoping over this weekend that things would improve. And, they're talking about flattening the curve and all of that.
Yeah, I think it takes time, though. I mean, realistically, it's going to take some time. So, unfortunately.
For an artist like you, you're so lucky that you managed to shoot your video just before you took off, and you're so lucky to actually manage to get it together and get it out, despite the whole world and universe working against all our plans. So let's talk about NRI, your brand new sounds.
Oh my gosh, I mean, lucky is the best word to describe just the chance that we were able to complete this video. First off, like there's one half of it that's shot in LA, and I'm so thankful for my intense drive, I guess, that I was pushing myself through in 2019, because we didn't waste one opportunity. Like I was in Los Angeles for 5 days for the Grammys. One of the days I had to be in hair and makeup to shoot something in the morning. So I was like, oh, I'm in hair and makeup. We're not wasting this. So then I switched outfits, obviously, and I was like, we're gonna go shoot in the streets in LA. At that time, I hadn't even decided that I was going to put NRI out. But I was like, you know what? NRI needs half India, half America. I'm here. Let's just shoot this. So we shot in America, all the parts of the crown, maybe 1 hour the morning that I left back to India on this most recent trip. And it's insane because I only had 24 hours to prepare to leave India to come back to LA. I didn't quite prepare properly because I didn't bring all the things that now, I mean, I didn't bring any Maggi noodles. I didn't bring any I didn't bring any Parle G, I didn't bring any dairy milk, I didn't bring anything that I would need, through my quarantine. So I didn't prepare properly. But what we did do is shoot a music video in, the last 18 hours I was in Bombay before the quarantine. And it's incredible, you know, a feat to my team that they pulled that together. We happened to have that sari in the closet. I was like, whoa, we just have this. So everything was just thrown together. And, you know, I'm wondering now what it's going to be like to make videos post quarantine. I mean, we've come up with some ideas of like shooting in the house and like different concepts, but you know, I'm just thankful that I was able to make that video, and also a video like Bindis and Bangles. Like I'm reflecting so much on that video and just realizing what a production level, quality, the amount of people on set, human beings that put their work into it, and how, you know, we can't even gather like that now. So I'm just thankful that I pushed myself like a monster last year.
Oh, we're so glad he did that. To my Radio 1 listener who's just checked in, this is 100 hours, 100 stars, a non-stop tribute to COVID warriors across, you know, our city, across our country. And to my Radio 1 listener, let me remind you that through this initiative, we are going to generate maximum donations for the PM Care Fund, which is a dedicated national fund with the primary objective of dealing with any kind of emergency or distress situation, like, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic. So please scan the QR code, click on the link, which you can see at the bottom of the screen, click on proceed to contribute once the window opens, and fill in your details, and please give generously. We really, really need to support the frontline emergency workers. We really need that money. So please donate generously.
Yes.
Back to our chat.
Okay.
You were talking about missing Parle G. You were talking about missing Maggie noodles. You were talking about missing, was it
I mean,
chocolate?
there's things I really miss. I mean, dairy milk, but I mean, I obviously miss pani puri. But the thing that's helping me through that is that nobody's having pani puri. So it's not like you guys are out there enjoying pani puri and I'm at home sad. So it's like, it's a shared pain right now. But dairy milk, you guys do have Maggie noodles, dairy milk, and Parle G, which I do not have. So.
But it brings me to your Indianness. It brings me to your Indianness, and that is what you address with NRI.
Yes.
So to talk to us about what went on behind the song, because you are a lyrical songstress, and I love the stuff that you put together, the things and the way you say things. So talk to us about what the song is about and about the rap rhymes.
Yeah, I mean, in the greater sense, the song is about belonging to two different cultures and two different worlds, and maybe not feeling like you quite are accepted in either of them. And that's been an energy, an angst that has been behind my music. And maybe I haven't talked about it publicly as much. You know, people will ask me about it, but it was a big struggle in the last 5 years of me, you know, working with a major recording label in America and trying to put out this music. You know, my label deal was in America before, so it was based out of this idea of your Indianness is threatening to others, or people won't understand you based on your Indianness. If you could not wear a bindi in this, then, you know, we'd give more budget, or like, you know, maybe America's not ready for an Indian person. Like, you know, it's not relevant. These are things I heard every day, even though I was turning back 700% growth on my socials. 700.
Right.
You know? So I was so frustrated because I always felt like if you work hard and you put dedication in, then the doors will open. But, you know, that frustration always is there. And sometimes it even comes from my, you know, people born in America that view what I'm doing and they want to flex their humanities degrees and talk about how I'm problematic and diaspora cringy. But the thing is, I'm just myself. You know, I was raised to love my culture, and I think that our jewelry is the most beautiful. I think our fabrics are the most beautiful. I would prefer to drape myself in the grandeur of where, you know, my family comes from. And for some reason, some people think that I'm using my culture as a costume or a gimmick, and I'm not. And I think that maybe by being unapologetically who you are, it will make people question themselves and also question why they feel that way about someone else, and why they feel the desire to tell someone they don't belong to something that they do belong to, you know?
Yes. And I think you're speaking for a lot of the Indian diaspora, because a lot of them have sort of been in a kind of a limbo situation, either here, not there, you know, but at the same time feel so Indian. And then, you know, like you mentioned, you come to India and you get flack for being, you know, not so Indian, and you go to America and you get flack for being Indian. So
but it works both ways. Like an NRI from who doesn't know anything, they'll call him ABCD, American born confused Desi. I want to flip that, American born cultured Desi. There's a difference, you know? You know, things can be different. And I feel like that's also unfair, because maybe somebody growing up in America, they didn't have the option to learn about their culture that way. Maybe their parents were working a lot and they didn't have time to like expose them to classical Carnatic music or whatever inspired
Yep.
me, and maybe my work will inspire them to search into their roots and to not reject that side of them because they feel they should assimilate in order to survive, because I never assimilated and I'm surviving and I'm thriving and I'm celebrating who I am. And every time I go home to India, I learn more about myself, and I urge others to do that and don't let go of one side for the other.
Right, right. You've taken the journey, and I also know that you're very, very empowered in terms of being a woman and an Indian woman at that. So,
Yes.
bindis and bangles and all of that. Can I get you to drop a couple of rap rhymes from that song?
From NRI or Bindis and Bengals? Which one would you like?
Bindis and bangles to
Let's go
start off
Bindis, because
with.
that's the female thing. Okay. All right. 24K, I'm on that real. Yeah, 10K, shit, that's my meal. I'm really talking rollies, talking about these rotis. They call me MTV because I just hustle on them roadies. Only coconut, we don't sip on codeine. 10,000 years, what the? You show me, because you don't really know where you came from. You don't really know where you came from. Daughter of the king, you can tell by my actions. I really make it happen, no acting. Fly like a ladder. Genie on my back, got love for the South Asians, got love for my accent. Indian girl got love from the streets to the mansions. And it's the bindis and the bangles. We light it up like a candle. Yeah. Don't ask Kumari where your mango. We don't need no guns, wear my sandals. Yeah. We rocking
Yeah,
saris and Ferraris.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Shifting that Reba with that Marley. Don't ask Kumari where your mango. We don't need no guns. We don't need guns.
Yeah.
Your mom will beat your ass with a sandal.
Love it, love it. So, talk to us about the phrasing. Talk to us about, working with that. And do you do a bit of both? Do you use your clearly use your Indian Carnatic heritage and all your training, and you bring it to your rap rhymes. So
Yes.
finding that meeting ground.
I think rhythmically, Carnatic music and classical, whatever inspiration I was always like kind of like the tone and the rhythms and the vibe of the way that the words are kind of like phrased and stuff. They're phrased like Indian music sometimes, but it's in English. And I think the lyrics have always I've always been excited to use like vernacular. Like
Yeah.
anytime I could say something that I know people say in real life, especially something that comes from the diaspora or Indian culture specifically, because no one has ever really been like, I'm gonna put something Indian out to the whole world. They all like, they always want to change the name and hide the, heritage. And I don't,
Yeah.
my name is intensely Indian, but yeah, no, it's fun to say stuff like send my banjis over to Gandhi and now we feast, and that's, if anybody really listens to that kind of lyric, then it's me saying, yeah, I make my money in America, but all of it's to come back to India and make sure that my people feast. That's what's behind my lyrics, and that's the energy behind it. But I definitely work with a lot of incredible songwriters. Syra is one of the funnest rappers. She won a Grammy with Skrillex for a song that she did, and we've actually known each other for about, we've been signed to the same publisher for 8 years. So it was really like a homecoming in a lot of ways to work with both of them.
Right. And then hooking up with Mass Appeal, the label. Talk to us about that.
How crazy was that? Obviously Nas has been investing in Indian hip hop. He signed Divine last year, and he's been really has his eye on what's going on. So just being introduced to Mass Appeal, I was coming out of my situation with Sony, and I was actually considering staying independent for a while so that I could have more creative freedom and really do some new things. But like within a month of leaving Sony, I got in this conversations with Dave Raj, from Universal, and I met Peter, in Dubai, and we were able to really talk about the possibilities for India in the future, and working with, first getting the cosign of Nas, which is like, there's only a few OGs of hip hop. There's Nas, there's Jay-Z, there's
Yeah.
Tupac, there's Biggie, and there's Lauren. You can keep going, but Nas is there, in the top 5. So the fact that he, is supporting me, a lot of my haters and doubters or people that were confused about me in America that maybe wouldn't open the door because they said no one cared about an Indian making hip hop, they have to listen when Nas opens the door. So I
Right.
feel like this is like a new chapter in my life where I don't have to fight against everyone as hard. And I'm really hoping for a new chapter and a new future, and everything so far. I mean, today I opened up Spotify and I'm on the cover of the Spotify New Friday playlist, and it says, listen to new music from Raja Kumari, Wiz Khalifa. And like usually that picture is Ariana Grande or, you know, it's, you know, Tinashe or somebody other than us in India. And the fact that my face is sitting there, it feels like a billboard. It feels like the biggest billboard on Bandra, like Reclamation or something.
I mean, such a cool hook. I am loving the vibe. I really am. I'm going to get you to give us a, you know, to drop us a couple of lyrical rap rhymes a little later on. But before I forget, to my Radio 1 listeners and viewers, actually, one more time, please. There's an initiative that we're asking you, we're requesting you to please donate generously. It's to the PM Care Fund. It's a national fund which goes for emergencies such as the COVID-19 pandemic. There's the QR code. Please scan it. Click on the link, which you see at the bottom of the screen, and make sure that you fill in your details. You know, proceed to continue. Please pay up. Please please pay generously, and you know, please look after our frontline workers, our emergency workers. Most important, do that. Do that. All right.
I come from a doctor family, so I support this. They definitely need our help, and it's good that we're all, you know, that this thing is changing what we consider essential workers. And I hope that after this ends, that we still continue to treat people with respect, because without the grocers, without the people that are picking up the trash, without this line of work, our whole society would crumble and fall apart. And I just feel like I hope everyone is getting perspective from this and having, you know, empathy for, you know, your fellow man. And I really hope that this, you know, changes us as humans.
I have to ask you to give a shout out to all the young female rappers in the Indian. You know, you're also part of Hustle, so you're really sort of into the game. You really know about, you know, what's going on in the scene here. So shout out to all the up and coming rappers.
My femcs, man. You know, right before this happened, I was actually going to do an all-female cipher, and it got canceled. We were doing it for Levi's for Women's Day, and I was so excited and proud because I was bringing, you know, rappers from all over, all the females, and I feel like we never had that. So shout out to all my femcs. Please know that Corona's not going to take us down. I promise. I'm building an infrastructure for us. I want to see us, you know, shining. There's no reason that there should be a set list and it should be 99% males. Like, not in a country where the females obviously do many things better than the boys. And I would like to show that in music, we can also be the best. So I believe in this world. I need you to manifest it with me, ladies. I need it. So I want to see the boys all sit down while we win. That's it.
All right. So I'm going to ask you to wrap up with dropping a couple of rap rhymes from NRI, if you please.
Okay. All right. It's a little bit crazy. We'll start from the chorus and I'll go in the second verse because it's crazy talk. Okay. Trying to rep my people, but they say I'm not their leader. And I ride up in the bleachers, feed up what y'all eating. Sorry that my story ain't Indian enough. And America don't love me because I'm indigenous. Do you even know who you are? Tell me, what are you made of? What you afraid of? Hater, cause I let you tear me apart. Show you what I am made of. Is this what you're afraid of? Hater, yeah, seen them on the comments. I ain't brown enough to comment. Guess I gotta get a tan so I can rep a country. Gave my daddy options. I don't rep y'all for the concept. Don't live here for the content. Trying to pillage off your struggle took me out of context. Bindi on your third eye, but the third eye closed. Got you on my back while you slit my throat. When I land here, they tell me go home. Now you ain't gotta love me, but it's still my throne. I feel like such a baby. It's still my throne.
Well. Brown, where's the crown? That's for sure. Thank you so much for checking in with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're looking forward to having you back in the motherland real soon.
As soon as I can, straight to that pani puri. Hygienic.
That's right.
I'll see you for the bottled water pani puri, okay?
Yes, we'll have some Parle-G for you on the side as well.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for joining us. 100 hours, 100 stars, a non-stop tribute to COVID warriors. Thank you so much. Thank you, Raja Kumari.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.